Bible says about alien. We want to thank Marissa. She's the one that done all the research on this topic. And as we go through this, you'll see the wonderful work she done here for us. We also want to thank Tiffany here, who was helping promoting this seminar tonight. And I just want to welcome everyone tonight to our seminar, and I just hope that you enjoy it and you will feel welcome. You're very welcome to come to our next seminar. I cannot tell you the exact date. We will have this one, but we'll have posting out as soon as we have that date. With no further ado, I'm going to invite Ken here. But before I give him the mic, I want to tell you that he will go through the whole process, and at the end we will take some questions. So allow him to go through it, and at the end, if you have some Bible questions or any questions at all, be free to ask the question, and we'll be happy to answer any question that comes to us. Thank you. Brother Ken.
Well, thank you. And as you know, my name's Ken. I do really want to thank everybody for taking the time on Tuesday evening to come and find out about this. It's kind of, I think it's quite an interesting subject, and I'm so appreciative that Marissa would do all this preparation work. And we have some very exciting subjects coming up. I think really dealing with where the world is at today. There's so many catastrophic events and war and many signs that are so evident now, and we want to really bring those to the forefront and into the open, invite people out to learn about them, and then to give it their input and have good discussion about these kind of things. So not only Marissa's working on this, but Chris, and we have some really good helpers that are dealing with this, and they're young, but boy, these guys work. So we'll have to give them the credit. Now, the subject tonight, of course, is about aliens, and there's so much you see these days. There's many movies about aliens. You see a lot of books on the subject. I listen to some late night radio talk shows from time to time, and those guys are all over it. They can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's just overwhelming how much. And they have all different spooky ideas. I hear some of the phone callers that call in, and you're going to hear just about every kind of idea about aliens. Listen to the radio. Some, I'm going to say that a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about tonight is theoretical. We're not putting this out as totally factual. We're putting it out because it's a very interesting topic. And we're putting it out because we think it should be revealed what kind of master plan is really out there about an end-time alien deal on this earth. So that's the topic tonight, aliens. I just have to get our little eyeball working here. There we go. And they come under, many different terms, UFOs and extraterrestrials. And we've seen. I don't think we saw it for 2,000 years, but all of a sudden, in the last 20 years, they're doing these crop circle things. In the UK, they've had thousands of them. In the US, hundreds of them. In Canada, I'm not sure. I think our wheat is pretty stocky and strong here. But I always find it interesting that there seems to be some other lines in the fields, but I haven't really studied the crop circle thing intensely, so we won't cover a lot on that, but I'm sure interested in what anybody else has learned or can tell me what they've researched on crop circles. But there is an intensifying frequency about crop circles, and it's in the press all the time. The world's really excited about it. Now the question is, has this earth been visited before by aliens? Have aliens come here and started the the seed of man on the earth. That's one idea. We see these phenomenal ancient civilizations, for example, Egypt with the pyramids and how they're all perfectly aligned to the sun and measured pi, and how they're aligned to the stars. In fact, I learned how they actually align them. They take the North Star and they dig a tunnel straight down, and they're able to keep that alignment all the time from this great tunnel. And that's their basic first alignment. From there they put a cornerstone that is aligned, and then that's their foundation, and then they build the pyramid up from there. So pyramids really are built from the sky down. But you can see how the idea is, boy, there must have been some highly intelligent civilization in the past that could do these things. In fact, you know, there's things that are done in ancient civilizations you even have to question if man could do it today. Technology may be different today. We're able to build nuclear weapons, but we're not able to move stone megaliths that are 5, 6 stories, 10 stories high. Interesting. Now, who here has heard about Area 51? Anybody heard of that? I drove past this. This is a place in the Nevada desert. It's probably about a 2.5-hour drive north of Las Vegas. And I drove by there a few years ago after I was at a convention, an electronics show, about a 4 or 5 day show, and I added the extra 3-4 days onto that. Actually, no, I added a week onto that. And near the Area 51, there's a place called Death Valley, which gets to some of the hottest temperatures, 130 degrees, imagine, Fahrenheit. So I wanted to go up to see Death Valley, so I drove up late at night so that I could see it in the morning, and then drive back to Las Vegas that afternoon and pick up my wife, who was going to actually come down and spend a few days, and we would go around and see some of the sites. So I stopped outside the gate. Now I'll tell you, it's a highly secured area. As soon as you stop at that gate and you start looking in, and there's a guardhouse there, you can see jeeps and other things in the distance starting to come. And it's just massive as far as area, right out in the middle of the desert. And this is where a lot of things are developed, like the airplanes that they have now that are not detected by radar. A lot of these very advanced aircraft are test flown in this area. And in fact, throughout Nevada and into California, they run a lot of test flights because the topography is very similar to the Middle East. So it's a great area for test pilots to cut their teeth on practice warfare, if you like, so that if they end up in the Middle East, in Iraq or some other invasion, well, they've already flown over the Grand Canyon and the Bryce Canyons and these kind of areas, very similar topography. A lot of Area 51 is actually underground, and they like to keep it very secretive. Matter of fact, the government keeps a lot of things very secretive. But this is one of the things. As you see, in the 1950s, they tested the U-2 spy plane, which is a spy plane they flew over Russia to confirm what kind of nuclear capability Russia had. And it was then that they were able to see huge warheads being transported on trucks and trailers and so on. And it's got a budget that nobody can really track. Nobody knows how much money is being poured in there. When you know, $12,000 comes up and it's an expense line for a hammer in accounting practice, you know money's got to be pouring in there going to things other than hammers and so on. So quite an interesting area.